Be honest. How many times have you sat down to work, study, or opened your laptop, told yourself, "Today I'm locked in," and then 10 minutes later you're switching tabs, checking your phone, scrolling, and you don't even remember when it happened? Yeah, same. And if you've ever thought, maybe I have ADHD, maybe my brain is just broken, I need you to hear this. For most people, it's not ADHD. Your brain isn't broken. It's trained. Trained to crave stimulation every few seconds. Trained to chase what's new. Trained to escape the moment anything feels slow or boring. And that's why you can focus on YouTube for 2 hours. But you can't focus on your own goals for 10 minutes. So stick with me, because by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly what's stealing your attention. And I'll show you a simple system to rebuild deep focus without relying on motivation and without feeling like you're fighting your own brain. Let's talk about the real reason you can't focus. If this feels familiar, let me say this clearly. You're not lazy, you're not stupid, and there's nothing wrong with your intelligence or willpower. What's actually happening is much bigger than you. You're living in an environment that's been perfectly engineered to steal your attention, constantly. Every app, every notification, every scroll is designed to pull your focus away in seconds. So when you try to sit down and do something important, your brain isn't failing. It's reacting exactly the way it was trained to react. And once you understand why this happens, fixing your focus becomes a lot easier than you think. So here's the first real reason you can't focus, and almost nobody talks about it properly. It's not a lack of discipline. It's dopamine overload. And a quick note, dopamine is not just the pleasure chemical. That's the biggest misunderstanding online. Dopamine is more like your brain's motivation fuel. It's the chemical that drives you to chase things, pursue things, want things. Now here's the problem. In the past, dopamine spikes came from effort, like finishing work, hunting for food, and learning something important. But today, you can get massive dopamine spikes in seconds, with zero effort. You pick up your phone and boom, new video, new message, new meme, new notification, new information. Your brain gets rewarded instantly, over and over again. And after a while, your brain adapts. It starts expecting that fast stimulation. It gets used to being entertained every few seconds. So when you try to do normal tasks, reading, studying, writing, editing, working, even thinking, your brain goes, wait, where's the reward? Where's the excitement? And because there's no instant dopamine hit, the task feels boring, painful, slow, almost unbearable. That's why you can binge content for 2 hours straight without moving. But you can't work for 10 minutes without checking your phone. It's not because you're weak. It's because your brain has been trained to crave fast dopamine. And real focus doesn't give you that at the beginning. Now, the second reason you can't focus is even more dangerous because it feels normal. It's called attention switching. Most people think they have a focus problem, but what they really have is a switching problem. Because focus isn't a skill you either have or don't have. Focus is a state your brain enters. And the only way to enter that state is by staying with one thing long enough. But here's what we do instead. We read 2 sentences, then check our phone. We open a work tab, then open YouTube for 1 second. We start writing, then we answer a message. And every time you switch, your brain pays a cost. This is called context switching, and it's basically the hidden tax on your attention. When you switch tasks, your brain has to drop the old context, load the new one, and then reload the old one again when you return. That's why you sit down to work, and even if you try hard, you feel mentally tired fast. It's not the work draining you, it's the switching. Here's the easiest way to understand it. Imagine your brain is like a computer. Every time you switch tasks, it's like restarting the computer, over and over. It doesn't matter if you only switch for 10 seconds. When you come back, you still have to reboot your focus. And if you do that 20 times a day, Focus never has a chance to build. So the real problem isn't that you can't focus. The real problem is that you're training your brain to live in a permanent state of interruption. Now, the third reason you can't focus is one of the most powerful forces in human psychology. Your brain is addicted to novelty. And this isn't a weakness. It's actually how your brain was designed. Thousands of years ago, new information could mean survival. A new sound in the bushes could be a danger. A new path could be food. A new pattern could be a threat. So the brain evolved to treat new information as if it's imperative. That's why your attention automatically locks onto something unfamiliar. Now look at what social media gives you. Unlimited novelty. Every scroll is new. Every post is new. Every video is new. Every topic is new. Every comment is new. And because it's endless, your brain gets stuck in this loop of chasing what's next. So when you sit down to focus on one task, one book, one project, one goal, your brain feels like it's missing out. It's like your brain is saying, "Why would I stay here when I could get something new in 2 seconds?" And the crazy part is, novelty doesn't even have to be entertaining. Sometimes you're not even enjoying the scroll. You're just checking because your brain is hooked on the possibility of something new. And if you repeat that for months or years, your brain basically learns this. Deep focus is unnecessary. Long attention is optional. If something gets hard, switch. That's how people lose the ability to sit with one thing long enough to master it. Not because they're broken, but because they trained their brain to chase novelty instead of depth. All right, quick test, because this will tell you in 20 seconds whether you actually have a focus problem or a stimulation problem. Question 1. Can you focus on things like video games, Netflix, YouTube, or scrolling for a long time? Like, an hour feels like 10 minutes? Question 2. Do boring tasks feel painful? Like studying, reading, working, writing? Feels heavy, slow, like your brain is resisting? Question 3. Do you check your phone before you even think? Like the moment you wake up, your hand just reaches for it automatically? Now, if you answered yes to even 2 of those, listen carefully. You don't have a focus problem. You have a stimulation dependency. Your brain can focus. It just wants to focus on things that give it fast rewards. And once you understand that, the solution isn't try harder. The solution is to retrain what your brain finds rewarding. All right, so now you know what's happening. The question is, how do you fix it? The first solution is simple, but most people avoid it because it feels uncomfortable at first. It's a dopamine reset, but not the extreme kind. Not some dramatic dopamine detox where you sit in a dark room and do nothing for 3 days. Here's what I mean. Your brain needs regular time where it's not being fed stimulation every few seconds. Because when your brain is always entertained, it loses its ability to tolerate normal effort. So here's the reset. Every day for just 30 to 60 minutes, do something with zero stimulation. No phone, no music, no scrolling, no videos. You can take a walk, sit outside, journal, clean your room, even just sit quietly and think. The goal isn't to be productive. The goal is to retrain your brain to feel okay without constant dopamine hits. And when you do this consistently, boring tasks stop feeling painful. Your focus starts coming back naturally. Now, the second fix is where your focus really starts to grow again, because this one actually trains your brain like a muscle. I call it the single task lock method. The goal is simple. You stop teaching your brain that switching is normal, and you start teaching that staying is normal. Here's how it works. Step 1. Pick one task, not 5, not work in general. One clear task, like write the first paragraph, edit the first 2 minutes, read 5 pages, something small and specific. Step 2. Set a timer for 25 minutes. This is important because your brain needs a finish line. When the finish line is too far, your brain panics and starts searching for escape. Step 3. For those 25 minutes, You do one rule: no switching. That means no phone, no checking messages, no opening a new tab, no quick scroll. Because the moment you switch, you restart the whole focus process again. Now step 4, when a distraction hits. Because it will hit, don't fight it mentally. Don't wrestle it, just write it down. Literally grab a note and write, check Instagram, reply to message. Search this on Google. Then immediately go back to the task. This is powerful because it tells your brain, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just not doing that right now. And after a few days of this, something crazy happens. Your brain stops panicking. It learns that focus is safe. That's how you rebuild deep focus. Not with motivation, but with repetition. Now, fix number 3 is what separates people who focus sometimes from people who can focus on command, and it's called a focus ritual. Here's the secret. Your brain doesn't like random work. Your brain likes patterns. And when you create a ritual, you basically train your brain to enter focus automatically, the same way your brain knows it's time to sleep when the lights go off. Think about it. If you sit in different places every day, different times, different vibes, your brain doesn't know what state to enter. But if you repeat the same small routine before working, your brain learns a simple rule. Ritual equals it's time to focus. And your ritual doesn't need to be complicated. It can be something as simple as sitting at the same desk, opening the same notebook, putting on the same playlist, grabbing the same drink, and taking 3 deep breaths before you start. The ritual is like flipping a switch. It tells your nervous system, we're not scrolling now, we're not wandering now, we're working. And the more consistent you are with this, the less you rely on motivation, because your brain stops debating. It just enters the focus mode automatically. Now, fix number 4 is probably the simplest, but it's also one of the most powerful, and it's this. Remove easy dopamine before work. Because here's the truth. The first thing you do in the morning trains your brain for the rest of the day. If the first thing you do is grab your phone, scroll, check messages, watch videos, you're basically telling your brain, today, we're living on fast stimulation. And once your brain gets that early dopamine hit, everything else feels slow. Work feels boring. Studying feels painful. Your goals feel heavy. That's why you can feel mentally tired before you even start your day, because your brain has already been overstimulated. So here's the rule. No phone or social media for the first 60 minutes of your day. Not because phones are evil, but because your brain needs a clean start. Use that first hour to do something real. Drink water, stretch, shower, journal, pray, walk, plan your day, anything. And then the second part of the rule, during your deep work blocks, your phone is not just away, it's unavailable. Put it in another room. Put it on airplane mode. Put it somewhere that forces you to stand up if you want it, because if your phone is within reach, your brain will keep craving stimulation. But if it's not accessible, your brain calms down, and focus becomes easier. This isn't about discipline. This is about removing the trigger. So here's what I want you to remember after this video. You're not broken, you're not lazy, you're not weak, and you don't need to blame yourself for struggling to focus. Your brain was simply trained by your environment. It was trained by fast dopamine. It was trained by constant switching. It was trained by endless novelty. And if your brain can be trained to lose focus, it can be trained to regain it. Because what you're fighting isn't a personality flaw, it's a system. And now you know the system. Dopamine overload makes normal tasks feel boring. Attention switching keeps your brain in a constant reboot. Novelty addiction makes deep work feel unnecessary. But the fixes are simple, and they work if you do them consistently. You reset your brain by spending time without stimulation. You rebuild focus with the single task lock method. You make it automatic with a focus ritual. And you protect your attention by removing easy dopamine before work. Do those things for a week, and you'll feel a difference. Do them for a month, and your focus will come back stronger than you've had in years. Because focus isn't something you're born with. Focus is something you train. So, if this video helped you understand why your focus has been slipping, don't just watch and forget it. Start training it. And if you want the next video, I'm breaking down something even more dangerous. Why your brain is addicted to starting, but can't finish. Because that one habit is the reason most people never follow through on their goals. So subscribe if you want that next. And I'll see you in the next one.